assessment. As can be seen in the introduction part earlier, the material for this assessment is the finishing school program designed by Unit Kerjaya and Counselling UiTM Cawangan Johor. In this part, I will be covering 6 important elements as well as the conclusion that we are going to evaluate the ESP material. Authenticity is being regarded as one of the foremost elements when we talk on examining the ESP materials. Many experts have shared the support and argument on the importance of authenticity in developing ESP materials. Arnold in 1991 stated that the more authentically the classroom mirrors the real world, the more real the rehearsal will be and the better the learning and transfer will be. In other words, ESP material need to be authentically enough so that learner can acquire the content better. Referring to this element, the text used in the materials are relevant for the target language function, such as the text in the job interview and resume writing. Text used are similar more or less to actual material that can be found in the resume or cover letter in the workplace environment. The word choice used in the resume instruction writing provide enough information and details on what, how and why learner needs to write on. In addition to that, the language used in each part of with the purpose of conveying information to the learners have been found to be elaborated enough. Lastly, the word choice also help learners to understand better each instruction and language used. This really showed that the material used in the course are authentically mirror the real job environment, which further provide necessary preparation for the learners to step into the employment. Found in 2001, material developers should be critical toward their material provided, whether serving the needs of the student or not. In this ESP material context, we can see that each module and material give impact toward preparing and polishing learners' language skill to achieve the goal of the syllabus. Each module and material also had been designed accordingly so that learners can understand the procedural function. Tasks and tasks were designed to help develop the necessary skill to complete the target goal. At the end of the task, those material impact the learners in acquiring new knowledge on writing and speaking skill. Practicality is also be regarded as one of the important elements in developing materials for ESP or LSP courses in general. Experts such as Tomlinson in 1998 stated that material should help learners to feel at ease. ESP materials, for example, should be practical enough in terms of time, level of difficulty so that the learning can be acquired in the most optimum pace. Referring to the text, clear and concise instruction in the materials have encouraged learners to understand the tasks in the materials and complete them with ease. It is worth noting that the material design also taking into consideration the learner's background knowledge in understanding several vocabularies used in the materials. The content of the materials is also appealing to learners as they learn something new. This can be seen in the Knowing and Branding Yourself module, where learners learn new words and phrases to better show and express themselves to potential employer. Next, we will see the context element. Research that have been done on ESP material have found out that the context of learner is very crucial in developing materials. Hutchinson in 1995 mentioned that the maturity, knowledge of the world, and thinking capacity of the learner must be respected. These ESP materials have been developed within the context of learners, the context of industry needs, and language function. The material used in this course expose learners to perform and polishing their language function and provide them training to plan speaking and writing. Activities instructed in the materials provide learners with reasoning and optimization skills, which then will help them to be employed by the potential employer in the future. The material used also related to the goals of the syllabus design and resemble the reality in the workplace environment. Another essential element that need to keep an eye on when developing ESP materials is the cultural relevance. Every material needs to consider the cultural setting of learners, environment, or instructor teachers who will use this material to create a dynamic ESP classroom experience. As for these chosen ESP materials involve the university level student, the aim is that to preparing them to have better graduate employability in the future. This had been supported by Harkin in 1995, who stated that at a university level ESP curriculum should aim to prepare students to life in the working world. We can see some example from the material that the content is appropriate to all culture. The materials did not bias towards specific races or gender. The text used in the instruction and material also cater toward the corporate culture in workplace environment. In addition to that, the task from the materials and module is adhere to the industry norm. The course design allow the instructors to sort all those materials in a way that learners can accept learning experience in a comfortable and convenient way. For example, from these cover letter materials, we can see that the text example had been taken from the real industry, which we then show specifically what are needed in a letter. Learners will have new knowledge on how to plan and write their own cover letter in the process of job hunting. One special element that can be examined from this ESP material is how those materials integrated the task-based approach in conducting the course and develop the content. Experts on task-based approach such as Ellis in 2003 stated that in adopting this approach, the participant will choose their own linguistic resources needed to complete the task. In other words, the task approach encourages learners to use their linguistic abilities such as speaking, vocabulary acquisition, or writing skill to complete the task that had been given by the teachers. We can see that most materials in this finishing school course have three stages which adopted the task-based approach. The materials comprise of pre-task where the instructor will show some example and do warm-up in modeling the materials content to the learners. Then, instructor will ask learner to plan their writing in resume and cover letter. Also, learner will brainstorm to prepare the mock interview. Next, the language focus stages. Learner will perform by presenting their own resume, taking part in the mock interviews, and also by giving out the job interview criteria. Learners can take part in giving the feedback toward their friends. Although many advantages had been highlighted earlier related to the six elements that these ESP materials have, there are some limitations that can be corrected to have a better material in the future. Those limitations have been compiled and summed up in a recommendation list. The first one would be the material should contain some sample of incorrect or ill-formed resume or cover letter from the real world. By giving this sample, learner can compare the resume and identify the wrong one, thus providing them with corrective approach. Next, during the job interview material development, the checklist and question need to focus more on the real corporate culture in Malaysia. There are some companies that have shifted toward doing group interview rather than individual. In that sense, materials for the jobs interview can be added. Another recommendation is that the example of the resume in the material chosen can be seen to be too international by using the candidate from overseas. It would be more suitable if the sample used Malaysian candidate with real or actual content so that learners can associate themselves better. From the task and the material provided, we can assume that it would take a lot of time for the instructor or teachers to deliver. To sum up this video, this finishing school course by UiTM had been designed to prepare graduate students to face the working environment by polishing their English language skill. The material chosen and developed by this course has been found to cater six elements and will help the course to achieve its target goal.
Having said that, there are some recommendations that course designer can try to look out and improve. A process assessment also can be carried out over the course implementation so that continuous improvement can be done and the quality from the output of the course can be increased. This material course is suitable for all learners regarding their age or proficiency level. However, for future reference, this course need to blend more advanced technologies such as the use of social media and web-based resume design so that learners can upskill their added value. Thank